Good day, everyone. So this is created in Plasticity. It's a sci-fi bracket. So please join me on how I created this. Thanks. So basically I'm creating this section here to be able to actually sweep around. Here I'm actually putting on the snap grid. And then I'm going to basically create like a C section. And then I'm going to actually fillet that to make it nice and smooth. So now I'm going to pick the points and then hit the fillet and then rotate it out. Okay. I'm going to take the line and move it down. It's more like centered almost. Don't have to do this, but I just prefer to do that. Oh, here I'm going to redo it again. Okay, rotate on the other axis. Center that off that line. Okay. Say OK. I'm going to actually select it with the poly, with the face, and then hit the sweep. Now I should actually select the face on this properly and then swept, but I didn't do that, so I got holes now on my object. Okay, go into the side view, and I'm going to create a circle disc to match the existing top line, and off the center of that. So say OK. So I'm going to extrude this out all the way through, all the way across. This is to the end. It's okay to actually pass it. So there we go. I'm going to use the line tool to go across. Select the object tool, and then I'm going to hit the cut tool. Say OK. Okay, select that, cut it, delete. Now I didn't get exact extrude properly, so I can now close and patch it. Same with the other side. Hit the patch tool. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in and cut these other sections out by selecting the top of that all the way across. I'll do the same thing on the top and on the upper top piece. So then I'm going to cut these sections out. Line tool, say OK. Same thing here. The cut tool. Select the line, say OK. Okay, now delete that. Alright, so I hit the cylinder. I realized I didn't actually do the edges here properly. So I'm going to basically hide that, select the lines all the way around. And then I'm going to hit the patch tool. Okay, select that. Same thing on the other side. Select the cylinder, hide it. First, OK, of course. Hide that with the H key or the I. And again, we can delete that one. Go ahead and select the line tool, select all 4 edges. Hit the patch tool. Okay, now that's closed. Need a closed object at all times. Let's bring the cylinder back in. Make sure these are closed. Okay, let's patch to the side with the line tool. Hit that, patch. Good to go. All right, now the whole thing is completely closed like it should be. Okay, select both objects and hit the Q button and hit it twice so that it merges. Same thing with the other side, close the hole. Both sides. Okay, now hit the patch tool. Say OK. Okay, now we're going to boolean both of these objects again. So hit the Q twice. And now they're merged. Okay, so now I'm going to select the line tool and create a cut into this object. So here I'm actually right on the edge and pulling my way down just to give it some interest to it. Alright, trying to decide where I want to put it. Alright, that looks good. Okay, then right click. Now hit the points and just do the fillet again. Make it nice and smooth and rounded. I'm going to do also the one on top. That way, that's also a nice curve at the beginning of it. Okay, now I'm select the actual object, and then I'm going to cut it with the line. Say OK. I'll select that part on top and delete it. Get rid of the curve. Okay, so here I'm going to use the line tool on the bottom to cut out the section on the base. Okay, bring it out, then reconnect it. Okay, I'm going to select the point tools and select the top section and also fillet this to make it nice and smooth. And I'll do it later on all 4 sections. Now I'm going to move this up a little bit just to get a little bit deeper cut. Alright, so now I'm going to cut through and then select the other sections and delete those. Also get rid of the curve. Alright, so now I'm going to actually select the cuts that are sharp and smooth those out with the line tool. Same with the other side. Do both of them. Fillet this out nice and rounded. Make sure it's positive, not negative. It's okay. Now I select the top section, go all the way around. And this time I'm going to actually go with a negative to give it a nice chamfer first. And now for the inner, same thing, chamfer. Is that okay? So I'm going to the side view. I'm going to cut a hole, a cylinder into this. Select the object, hit the cut tool, select the line, cut through it, get rid of the curve, delete it. Okay, now I'm going to select the inners, cylinders, and I'm actually going to select all 4 of them. So let's select that, the other inner, and then that. Make sure you hit the shift key while you're doing it. Now pull it out. I'm going to use a chamfer, not all the way to the edge though, just a little bit away from that. So that way I have a little space there to add the fillet to it. So now that I've done that, I'm going to select all the 8 sections now that I've created. Go around, select each of the edges, and now I'm going to pull this out. Make sure it's on a positive this time. Okay. So the outer, I'm going to fillet that, make it so it's nice and curvature on that edge. I'm going to go to the top section, do the same thing. A bit smaller on that part. I'm going to go to the inner side. Same thing, fillet. Say okay. And now the top piece. Say okay. All right. So now I'm going to add some lines inside this section here to give us some details. So hit the line tool. Let's create some sections like triangles basically. And connect it. Okay, I'm going to use the freestyle, the F key. So I can actually line up where I want this to go. So I'm just going to hit the point there, create it, and now I'm going to actually select the line tool and move it over with the move tool. Let's move it out. All right. So now I'm going to create some lines to kind of center this thing off, basically. I would delete these after the fact, but just to help me create stuff. Select there, so I get the center, right click, and I'm going to do the same thing with the base. That way everything's right click. That way it's easier to connect the centers of these things. I'm going to put some lines where I think they should go. It makes it easier to actually go right on the grid. So there, and then I'm going to put it there. Again, opposite side. Okay. And then reconnect. There we go. So I'm going to select these sections, each of them. Delete the ones I don't need. Okay, so now I've got what's left with the line tool. Select all the points. I'm going to do a fillet on these. So it's nice and curvature. Okay, I had a bad area that I didn't like. I redid it. So I'm going to restart the line tool. I'm going to go off the base of the existing ones to get myself some, I guess, where I want to place this stuff to make it looks a little bit better so it's lined up. So I can do a section there to kind of go with the line edge curve. Bring it out. I kind of look at the other side. It's kind of like a nice edge there, so I'm going to reconnect there. Move it in a little bit so it's more of the same line. So then I'm going to go off the top, bring it out. Same thing all the way out, just to make it easier to line the stuff up. Okay, now I'm going to create another line. This time I'm going to go a little bit close to the other one. Bring it up to help with that line up. Okay, bring it out. Cut downward. Trying to get the same type of line as above. Okay, go all the way across. Go back up. Okay, now you got your section there. Now what I'm going to do is kind of get rid of some of these lines, delete them. And I'm going to redo this one. Connect it all the way around again just to make it a full section. Okay, so then I'm going to adjust this a little bit. First I'm going to delete the one I don't need. Go to points. I'm going to bring this in. It's too sharp, so I can't really fillet it. So now I'm going to select the point and move it back a little bit because it was too sharp. So I get it closer to the other section. This one I'm actually going to move inward. Also move it. Line up with the other ones. Looks good. And I think I'll move this one in as well. Line it up so it's lined up straight. Okay. Say okay. Now I'm going to select the points. On the edges, do a fillet. And where it looks good, say okay. Now let's do the those two pieces. Let's do this one on the bottom first. Make that more of a curvature. There we go. And then the one on top. Again, fillet. This way the whole thing's nice and smooth. All right. So now I'm going to actually select the poly tool and then basically extrude this. So hit the E key and I'm going to push it through, not all the way through, just into the intersection to give it some detail. And then I'm going to also mirror this. Okay, I think that's far enough. And I'm going to get rid of the curves. Shift key, delete them. So I'm going to select the edges and the inners, and I'm going to actually fillet those. You can pretty much see what you're doing as long as you're looking at it. It's okay. Hit the mirror tool. I'm going to try to put it in the center of this first. So go ahead and line it down the center. Say okay. I'm going to move those in. It's actually going to select the actual objects. Do it again. And move those in. Okay. So now I got all those done. Say okay. So then we'll select each of these. Okay, select all of them. And now I'm going to mirror these on the other side. So again, hit the mirror tool. Use the right side. I'm going to select that one and select all the other cutters. Make sure they're all selected. Okay. Now that I've done that, I'm going to hit the Boolean tool, or Q, and say OK. So now I want to add some other detail to this. Basically going to create like a box. I'm going to move this out a little bit in. Basically like a cutter. So now I'm going to use the array tool on this and bring it up a little bit first. Say OK, and now select it again, the line tool. Then I'm going to hit the array tool and bring it downward. Line it up with the line. Okay, say OK. First I'm going to do the fillet on this end piece. Make it a little bit of curvature. There you go. Just going to hide this object. Hit the H key. Again, select the face tool. This time I'm going to hit the extrude with the E button. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and unhide. Go back to the top view. And then I'm going to take those and move them. And select the main object, of course. Let's move it down. Okay. I'm going to mirror this. Opposite side. Say OK. So now I've done that, I'm actually going to select all those objects and cut them into the actual main object. And once it's booleaned in, I'll say OK. Okay, now I'm going to add in some more detail in the inner side. So again, I'm going to create a section straight down and take the line, move it closer to the inner. Bring it down, bring it in. Okay, I'm going to see what I'm doing here. Let's select the points and move them. There we go. Just where you want them. Alright, so I'm going to take this now, move it, the G key, see what you're doing, let's bring it in. Okay, close to the edge. Bring it out a little bit. Show them on that angle. Do a Control D or Shift D. Move it out, say OK. Alright, so now I'm going to use the line tool, connect these all the way around. So it's one. Okay. So I'm going to extrude this out now. Bring it farther out. I'm going to hide the other object. So I see what I'm doing. Delete the curve and hide. Okay, so now I'm going to again select the object and move it. Go to the Z-axis, the center of this. Okay. Move it in. A bit more. Okay, now I'm going to get the line tool. Start adjusting. So I took the two back lines and I actually used the chamfer to get them inner, which I didn't show in this. Take this and this, first I'm going to add a little bit more detail. So I'm going to get the inners. And let's do a fillet on that. Pull it in the positive. Again, hit the object tool. Let's take a look at the inside of this. So we hid that one. Okay, now that I got that in there, when I cut this from the other object, let's do the Boolean tool. Say OK, or the Q key. But hit Shift Q. That will actually keep it together. So I'm basically doing a cut within a cut. So keeping part of the object. Alright. So now I'm going to scale this in just a little bit. Just to give it a little bit more of an edge to it. A little bit upward as well. Say OK. I'm actually do a little bit of fillet on this as well. Line tool, fillet. The top part, say OK. Now part of the other object as well. There we go. It stands out. Okay. I'm going to go in and actually cut in some sections within this piece. Okay, we're also going to do a little bit of fillet on that edge. Take a look at it, a little closer. Okay, now hit the face tool and this bring this up. Extrude. Okay. Select the object. Move it in just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to use the ray tool. Line it up. On the top view. Try it. Make sure it looks good. Okay, that's it for that. So now, go ahead and select the first object, and then I'll select the rest of the objects. Again, I'm going to Boolean this, make sure I unselect that one. Hit the Q key. Say OK. Alright, cool. Okay, now I'm going to add some inners into the holes, just to give it some different look to it. So there, I'm going to actually select the cylinder tool, and now I'm going to extrude this with the E key. Push it through. Now go ahead and delete the curves. Go ahead and select the object. I'm going to move it in a little bit. I'm going to go to the side view, move it in. So it's kind of centered off of that. Okay. Now hit the edge tool. We're going to do a chamfer on this one, both sides. Okay, pull this in the negative, actually this time. Okay. It's okay. Now let's do let's go ahead and add a little bit more detail with the fillet on all four sections now. So this is going to be in the positive. Now I'm going to cut inner of that out. So put the cylinder tool again. This time I'm going to select the object and hit the cut tool. Okay, select it, say OK. Now go ahead and delete the curve and the object. I'm going to actually do a select the line tool on both sides. I'm going to pull this out. This time I'm going to use the fillet. Make it rounded. Say OK. I'm going to select the object itself, and I'm going to mirror this onto the other side. So go back to the top view or side view. Hit mirror. Opposite side. Say OK. Alright, cool. So now I'm going to add some details to the top. Use the box tool. Say OK. And now I'm going to actually move it so it's centered. Say OK. Hit the point tool. We're going to use the fillet again. Just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the face tool. Hit extrude with E, go through. Say OK. I'm going to mirror that to the other side. Alright. Delete the curve. First of all, I gotta make sure these are correct. So I'm gonna go back and patch this. So I'm gonna hit the base with the line tool to make sure all the bottom ones are selected and deselect the ones on the sides. I hit the patch tool. Okay, now it's a full object. Now we can go in and adjust it. Patch tool on top too, why not? Okay, now we're going to do a fillet. Make it rounded. Alright, so what you're doing, say OK. I'm going to take this object and bring it down. Move it down. G key. Bring it in. Close enough. I'm not going to mirror this. After I say OK, of course. Mirror. Say OK. Now I'm going to actually boolean this. So again, select the main object, select each of these objects, hit the Q key, or select it, say OK. Cool. Make it look a little different. So I'm going to hit both sides. And this time I'm going to do a chamfer. Pull it out with negative. So I'm going to have to go in and adjust a little bit, one side at a time. Plus on the top. There we go. It's okay. Copy and paste it basically. So I can do the other side now. Pull it. Same thing. On the plus. Get it exactly. You could actually Control V, Control V. Say OK. Now it's exact same as the other side. Alright. So now I'm going to actually select all these ones as well. Oh, just basically select all the lines throughout on both sides. A few more to select. This way I can do them all at one time. So I'll pull it out. Again, I'm just going to use a fillet on this one. Say okay. Double check, make sure you got everything. Oh, I forgot these over here, so that's okay. I just eye it. Pull it out. Again, fillet with the positive. Okay, now I'm going to clean up a little bit more of the air object. So I'm going to go to the cylinder sections. I missed this one here, so I'm going to fillet that. Okay, let's fillet this. Positive. Just a little bit. Say okay. Looks good. I'm going to add just a little bit more detail to the front side of this, the X side. And now I'm going to actually put a cut throughout this bottom piece here. Create a square. Say okay. I'm actually going to move this backwards so I can cut through that. Say okay. I'm going to hit the points. Again, I'm going to take the top ones and fillet them. There we go. Okay. I'm going to take the face tool and extrude it through. All right. Okay, now that's all the way through. I'm going to take this object and bring it upward. So I'm going to actually move the tool, bring it up, and I'm going to also do the mirror on the other side after that. So opposite side, say okay, bam. All right, so let's go ahead and take the main object, select it, and then cut the other two sections out and say okay. All right, so that's done. All right, so that's how I created this bracket. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to keep this channel going. Thank you.